I spent the last year optimising my camera bag for the perfect outdoor photography, landscape and vlogging setup. I'm really happy with results. So why don't you stick around and have a look at what's in my lightweight camera bag. Well, hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Richard. I'm an outdoor photographer based in Dublin here on the east coast of Ireland. I love to do photography vlogs, gear reviews, give you my tips and tricks. If that sort of stuff is of interest to you, well, please consider subscribing. The gear in this video, the bag, everything, none of it's sponsored. It's all bought with my hard-earned money. So let's dig in. Well, why do I feel the need to talk about a lightweight camera bag? Well, for me, I think it's quite important. It's something that I feel is important. I've been an avid photographer for the last 6-7 years, and it's been mainly outdoor based, landscapes, cityscapes, anything that's happening in the outdoor world I'm interested in. And for those first 5 years, it was really just me and the camera and all the lenses that I've gathered, and I found over the time I was gathering more and more lenses, and my bag was getting heavier and heavier. And it wasn't even the weight of the bag. Well, that was the main issue, but it was the abundance of choice when it came to shooting a shot, which lens to go for. I mean, this is a problem that a lot of photographers will encounter. So, you know, that really bugged me. I felt I had too many lenses, but at the same time, I wanted to be able to cover all the focal lengths. And these multitude of lenses required, you know, a bigger bag, a heavier bag, more and more gear. And when I go out doing a photo shoot, I could be hiking around for 4, 5, 6 hours. I mean, I don't notice the time going, but I mean, I notice it on my back. And I found myself getting very frustrated coming in from a day shooting and looking at my camera bag and looking at all the gear I didn't even use and going, oh, I'm not bringing that the next time. But I kept making the same mistake and bringing the gear the next time. So really, that was an ongoing problem for my whole photography journey. And over the last year, things have changed somewhat in that I've really gotten into making vlogs. I really enjoy it. It's a way of sharing my photography adventures, and a big part of it is something for me to look back on in years to come, and I can look back on my days out and the photos I've taken, and I really enjoy that. But this required more gear. So when I started the YouTube journey and the vlogging journey just over a year ago, really, straight away I decided enough's enough. I really need to focus on reducing the gear I carry, reducing the weight, and after spending a lot of time and making some changes to my kit, I've really come up with a bag that I'm really happy with, and that's a lot lighter and more manageable on the days out. So without further ado, let's have a look at the bag, and you stick around to the end of the video, I'll actually give you the final weight and you can let me know in the comments what you think. First things first, let's have a look at the bag. The bag that I'm using is this. It's the Low Pro BP-AW3 flip side. And it's a bag that I recently got in the last, I'd say 2-3 months. So I'll throw it down here on the desk and we can have a closer look at it. But it's like I said, I've got it in the last 2-3 months. I'm not going to cover the bag in huge details, just to let you know the reason I got this bag was weight. It stripped down, comes with a little bag inside and a few accessories. I took all the stuff I didn't need out of the bag, and it comes down to a weight of 1.2 kgs, which is really good. Now I'm going to do all my weights in metric here because that's the proper way of doing it, and I'll throw up a conversion to ounces and pounds and the rest of them in the video. But this is the bag I went with. Like I said, I used a Pro Tactic 350 for the last 5 years, and it's a great bag, but it's even stripped down, it was coming in at 1.6 kg. So I managed to save 400 grams by switching the bag, and this is a relatively cheap bag, and I'm really happy with it. So this is the bag. What I have attached to the outside of the bag, you may see, is a tripod, and the tripod that I chose to go with was the Ulanzi F38, and I love it. Again, this tripod here is something that I only recently got. I got this after a lot of him and hawing about 2 months ago, and I'm really happy with it. Before that, I was carting around a Benro tripod, and it was coming in at about 1.7 kgs. And I mean, I do a lot of handheld shooting, and I found a lot of the times I was coming back from a day shooting and I hadn't even used the tripod, and I hated carrying it, and I didn't really enjoy using it. But at the same time, I really felt I needed a tripod for when I need a tripod for my, a long exposure. And I also, because I'm vlogging, I used the Pocket Tree. I was hand holding the Pocket Tree in front of me a lot because I couldn't have been bothered putting it on a tripod. But with this new quick release system on the Ulanzi, I have put the plates on everything that come with it, including the Pocket Tree, and it's just so light. It's such a great tripod. I'm really, really happy with it. It's coming in at about, I think it's coming in at about 800 or 900 grams, and it's fantastic. So that's the tripod that I've been using. I've used it 3 or 4 times now at this stage, and like I said, as soon as I started using it, I just really, really enjoyed using it. And so that's that. Part of the kit is, because I've switched system, I used to use the Peak Design clips and they were fine. I used them for 3 or 4 years. Look, I can't complain. They worked really well. They did what they said they'd do, but they weren't the cheapest thing in the world. And because I've switched system to this new Ulanzi system with the F38 head, and they have their own clips and they attach to everything, I bought a new camera capture clip, and it's again Ulanzi, so that goes on my camera bag. It's very similar to the Peak Design, and it works really, really well. The one thing I would say, if you are considering switching to Ulanzi and the F38 system, make sure you get the version 2 clips and the version 2 plates, because there's a big difference. The version 2 plates work perfectly. I know when I got this tripod, it came with a version 1 plate, and it didn't work so great. I mean, it clipped on fine, but it kept coming loose and I was tightening it the whole time. So they obviously realised themselves they had an issue there, and they brought out a version 2, and it works perfectly. Once it's tightened up, it never comes loose. So that's what's on the back of my bag. I carry a carabiner, and like I said, this bag, a feature I like about this bag is this front pouch, which wasn't on my Pro Tactic, but it's kind of got a little hard shell here, but this is all soft, but I can actually shove quite a lot in here. And what I carry in here is my mini tripod, which, I mean, I've had this thing 5 or 6 years and I use it to bits. It's fantastic. You always needed one of these in your bag, so I use that. And I have using my Pocket Tree to film at the moment here with the overhead, but my Pocket Tree normally slips in the front here for when I'm going to the photo shoot, and when I get there it comes out of my bag, and as the name suggests, it stays in my pocket for the rest of the day. Fantastic piece of kit. I love the Pocket Tree. But when I'm moving, it stays there in the bag. So that's the outside of the bag. Okay, let's have a look at what's inside the bag. So this is the kit that I travel with. So first things first, let's start with the camera. I'm shooting with the Sony A7R V. I'm actually filming with it now, but prior to that, I've only recently got the A7R V, love it. Prior to that, I shot with this, the A3, which is a fantastic camera, and I've just gotten so many good years of use out of it, but it's going to be my main vlogging, it's going to be my main permanent video camera from now on, or a spare in case I need it. But anywho, that lives at the top, and as you can see, I'm only bringing 2 lenses. 2 lenses. This is probably the biggest decision I made, was reducing the number of lenses that I carry, but at the same time wanting to cover a really large focal range. So I went from carrying, 3, sometimes 4 lenses around, and chopping, changing, and deciding if I needed to do it. Oh, it done my head in. So I've gotten 2 lenses, which I absolutely love. And this first one here is the 50-400 Tamron, and it is just fantastic. I use it so much, absolutely love it. I've got this about the last year, just over a year now, and I've used it to bits. It's a brilliant lens. So this lens sits normally attached to the camera in the bag, and the second lens that I use is this, and again, I've got this just over a year. It's the Sony 16-35, the FE4. So it's an aperture, it's low aperture, it's a fixed aperture of 4, and it's fantastic. It's just such a really nice lens. Super sharp, super light, super compact. Again, good focal range, 16-35 mil is brilliant, So that combined with this gives me an effective range of, 16 mil out to 400. And then if I take in the extra cropping capacity that the A7R V gives me, like with its massive 61 megapixel sensor, I effectively can go out to like 600 mil using the crop and 1.5 crop and still get a really, really large resolution file out of it. So I absolutely love it. And you know, the camera, the camera body I normally use with the A7R V, I'll have a L bracket on it. It's coming in at about 900 grams, 950 grams, and then like the lens itself here, I'm just looking at my figures, facts and figures here. My lens is about 1.4 kgs. This one is quite a heavy lens, but it's just one lens, it's not three. And then the Sony lens is nothing. It comes in at, I think it's coming in at less than 400 grams. So, you know, these are super lightweight considering what they give you. Rest of the kit in the bag, well, this next item that I'm going to show you is something that I hemmed and hawed about, but I do really need it, and especially since I've started vlogging, and since it has to be, it's an essential piece of my kit, and I do find myself using it a lot, and that's the drone. Now, I have this drone about 3 years. It's the DJI Mavic Air 2, and you know, it's great, it does the job. It lives in this little bag here. I don't keep it in its case because I don't believe in carrying big heavy cases around when you don't need them. And yeah, it's perfect. As you can see, it sits in this little bag. It's a great drone. The weight is not too bad on it. It's about that, and the controller are just about kg, 1 kg in weight. And yeah, they're really, really good. Great video out of it. Good high quality stills, but I use them mainly for videos. I'm finding, before I really got into vlogging, I wouldn't really bring the drone out as much that often, because when I originally purchased it, I thought I would do a lot of shooting images with it, but I don't. And I really only started using it when I started vlogging, because I feel when I get to a beautiful location, I really do want to get some nice B-roll. I really do want to get the drone up there and get some lovely shots of the area. And you know, regulations permitting, and area permitting, and weather permitting, I'll always fly the drone. So because of that, it always comes with me in the bag. If I have a chance to use it and leave it in the car, I might do that. But that and the controller, which lives over here, like I said, are about kg in weight, and you know, they fit perfectly into the bag. So the next item, which is critically important and that I use a lot, is this filter system, and this is the Case Revolution system. And you'll notice it's not in a case because I've done a previous video in the past discussing the Case filter system. If you want to check it out, I'll link it at the end of the video. But this case that I have put them into is a far better case than what Case will supply you. A lot of case words being thrown out here, but yeah, it's much smaller, much neater, works better. But that's about my 5 or 6 filters, and they live there along with my step-up rings, and they live in my bag there along with rocket blower, which you always need to clean your lens and clean your sensor, and this little thing, which I mean, I hardly ever use it, but it's for cleaning the eyepiece on the camera. So that's the main components. Now, the only accessories I bring, and I've really cut back on all accessories, all the bits and bobs. You'll notice I don't have cases for everything. I don't have the drone case because it's crazy big. I mean, you wouldn't bring it. I've minimized the filter case to something that's much better than what the supplier supplied, the original one that it comes in. I don't bother buying battery carrying cases or SD carrying cases because it's just more weight, and they're not saving any space with these things. They're bigger, like, I mean, they take up more space. So I just carry my pocketry mic in this little bag. This lives in there, along with 2 batteries. 2 batteries is more than enough for me. I have a spare drone battery, lives in that bag, and I also have a spare camera battery. And like, more often than not, I rarely go into the second camera battery. I watch photographers and landscape photographers and people talking about bringing multiple camera batteries. I don't know, they must be shooting in 50 frames a second the whole time they're there. I don't know how they go through all the batteries they go through, but I mean, really, it's very seldom that I actually even go into a second battery. But obviously, I'll carry a spare second one and a drone battery. And really, you know, that's it. That's very, very compact. A camera, 2 lenses, a drone. I love it. In here, accessories-wise, really bare minimums again. I carry some metal studs for the tripod in case I need to change them, and then just microfiber cloths. And sorry, I'm after dropping something there. and also a remote control for the camera. And this is a great little remote actually. I only got this recently. It's a Bluetooth and it works to the Bluetooth on the A7R V and it works really, really well. It works every time, first time, every time. I've had previous remotes for my A7 III and they're infrared based and they don't work that way. They're not reliable. They have to be clear line of sight to the camera and to the sensor on the front of the camera. So that's it. I mean, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. That is all the kit that's in my bag, and I'm really happy. Having this minimal setup, having just the 2 lenses, especially when you're out and about, it simplifies photography process, because it takes the him and han and get second guessing now, should I switch lens and I haven't got the right lens. For me, it takes it out of the equation and it just makes it much easier. And the tripod, using that lightweight tripod, for me, again, it's just a joy to use. I can walk and just carry the tripod. And I use the clips from the Ulanzi clips. There's one that's screwed onto the bottom of my pocket tree, like I said, and I could just clip that pocket tree into the tripod and I could just walk with it attached the whole time. So it's really, really handy for vlogging, really great for when I need a tripod. Now, obviously, with tripods, a lightweight tripod has a disadvantage with the Benro and these heavyweight tripods. The mass, extra weight of a tripod definitely gives you more stability. And if it's a windy conditions or you have it in the waves, you know, that's where the disadvantages of using these tripods come in. A heavier tripod is simply just better. But if you hate using a tripod, if you really hate carrying it the whole time and you can't stand the sight of it, which was how I felt about the Benro, I'll gladly give up that advantage for something that I will bring with me and I will enjoy using, which is the Ulanzi. So yeah, that's really the inside of the bag. So that's it. So what's the final weight of the camera? Well, I'll tell you, it's 7.7 kgs all in, and I'm really, really happy with that. Now, I'm sure there's some people looking at this, screaming at the screen going, "Are you nuts? It's nearly 8 kgs, that's not light." For me, for what I do, for the functionality, for what this gives me, all this kit, it's absolutely perfect. It's no weight on the shoulders. Like I said, when I'm walking around, I'll have whatever's in my bag. I'll have my camera on my camera clip in the front here, balances it out nicely. And yeah, it's absolutely perfect, considering some bags alone, like I have a low pro tactic 450 for when I go away for like a week or two. I might want to bring everything with me. That bag is well over 3 kgs empty. So, you know, if you fill it, forget about it. So yeah, just under 8 kgs. I'm really, really happy with that. I can do my long hikes, no bother. And I still have room in this bag for bottles of water, food, jackets. I can shove jackets down the front of it. Absolutely fantastic. So look, I hope you've gotten something of value from the video. I hope I've given some people some ideas, some food for thought. And if you've enjoyed this, you know, hit the like button. Please consider subscribing, leave a comment, let maybe drop heavy if your bag's too heavy and light if your bag's really light. And sure, I'll see you in the next one, probably in the next couple of weeks. Bye bye.